So hello guys and welcome back. So this is my second video, and on my first video I showed you how to create a character and also to move that character. So if I run this program, you'll see what I'm talking about. So as you can see, we are moving our character up and down and also forward and back. So what we want to do in this video is to restrict this character from moving out this restricted region or outside our screen window, and also to make this character jump. So what I want to do right now, I want to start by change the y coordinate of a character to be 400, so that this character can be here down on our screen window, so right here. So let us actually put 600 because our screen window has 700. So I guess that is a perfect position for me to show you what I'm doing. So what I want to do right now is to restrict this character from moving outside the window. So actually it's very easy. So where we had our keys are being pressed, right here where we had, when the right key is being pressed, our character move forward, and when our left key is being pressed, our character will move on the left side. So what we want to do, we want to add another statement right here, that is and when our velocity, that is when we have x being less than the screen window, which is 700, then we are going to minus also the width of our character, and lastly we will be minus the velocity. So let me run and see when we press at the right. So when we move to the right side, we expect our character not to move outside the boundary. So as you can see, this character can't move beyond this point. So let us restrict this character from moving now on moving backwards and then getting out of the screen window. So we can do that by just adding a simple statement, that is and a velocity when x is greater than the velocity. So let me run. So as you can see, the character can't move beyond this point. So I'm not going to show you first how to restrict this player from moving upwards or downwards, because, or let me just put it first for you to understand, then we're going now to show you how to jump and other stuff. So the trick here is just to as you can see, we have here the character moving forward, and the velocity, we are adding the velocity. So we want to subtract y when y is less than the height. So we are moving forward, that is first the screen window, then you are going to subtract the height because we are moving upward, yes, and that is, we are also going to set up to subtract the, you're also going to subtract now the velocity, and right here you need to put an and symbol, and lastly we are going to say and y is greater than now the velocity. So if we run this piece of code, then we expect our player now being restricted on this boundary. The player can't move beyond our screen window. So that is it. So let me move downwards. So as you can see now, the player can't move outside this restricted region. So let us move now to now jumping. So that is it for movement and restriction to our boundary. So what I want to do right now is to create a new two new variables. So after our velocity right here, I want to create new variables, that is jumping, that is whenever this person is jumping, I'm going to set this to be false. So we don't want this person to jump right now unless a certain key is pressed. That's why I'm giving it false. Then next I'm also going to give the jump frequency. That is, whenever we press a certain key, or which frequency do we want this player of ours to jump, and I'm going to set it to be 10. So let us move to our loop. So right here I want us to create a new list. That is, if keys we want to press, whenever the space key is pressed, then this player will jump. So that is pygame dot k dot space. So whenever this space key is pressed, then our jump, that is jumping, initially it was false, so I'm going to set it to be true. So whenever this key is pressed, then this player will jump. So with that being said, I'm going now to show you the next step. And our next step, I want to copy paste this code where we had our player moving along the y-axis. So because jumping actually involves a player moving along the y-axis, so what we want to do right now is we want to create another if statement. That is, if this player is not jumping, that is not jumping, then we are going to set we want this player now to move a dash just along the y axis without moving. So we are going to paste our code which involved this player moving along the y axis. So I'm going to paste it right there. Then let me correct this. So that is it now. If this player is not jumping, then will remain with this right here. So this player will just be moving along the y axis. So let me run it for you to see. So as you can see, whenever I press the x-axis, the space, this player can't jump. So that is it. So let us move. So what I want to do now, that is where the if statement right here, where we say that if this player is not jumping, then we want this player to just move along the y-axis. But right now we want now this player to jump. That is else. If this player is jumping, then I'm going to also create another if statement inside this else, that is called the nested statement. If you have problems with this if statement, I've just uploaded a video about these statements. You can just go and check it out. So we are going to create another if statement right here, and we say that if our jump frequency this right here is greater than or equal to -10, then I'm going to leave this right just like this. I'm going to come back to this, but else whenever this is less than or equal to -10, that's basically the meaning of else. Then you are going to set our jump frequency to be our jumping to be false. Jumping is equals to false. So we don't want this player now to move beyond this point. That is, I'm going to explain to you in a bit. Then our jump frequency, I'm going to set it to be 10. So that is our initial frequency. So right here we want this player to move along the axis, and as you know, when this player moves up, that means that we are minus we are minusing the velocity. So right here we are going to say if this player is jumping, then is equals to y minus, we are minus the y axis, that is now moving upward. Then you are going to say our jump. Let me put in bracket, and I'm going to explain to you in a bit. So we want our jump frequency. We are going to multiply our jump frequency by 2. We are going to square it, so that is using the double exponential to just square it. Then because our frequency was 10, we don't want to move it by 20, that is 100 pixel. So I want to also divide it into 2, that is by half. Then we can multiply it by 0.5. And lastly, what we want to do right here, so we want, since we want our jump frequency to be negative, because right here we have our jumping frequency to be greater than or equal to -10. So to make it positive, we are going to minus it, is equals to 1. So we are minusing 1 right there. And also, so we want to also convert this frequency. Whenever it reaches now the positive sign, it turns into negative, and whenever it reaches to the negative side, it turns into a positive sign, so that it can move along the positive y-axis and also the negative y-axis. So what we want to do right now, I'm going to create another variable here. Let me say t is equals to -1. So, and if, so I'm going to put this inside if, and if our jump frequency is less than, so that is when we have the negative numbers. Now less than 0 just means the negative numbers. That is, if our jump frequency is less than 0, we are going to say, actually this t should be supposed to be +1. Then right here, because we are going now to the negative side, we want it to be -1. So t is equals to -1. So right here we are going to multiply this by t. So that is it. So let me run this. So let me press the space button. As you can see, this player can jump. So when you move forward, as you can see, the player can jump, and when it reaches this point, now the player is restricted from moving outside the boundary. Also on this side, this player can jump. So that's just a basic introduction to jumping and also restriction. And in future, I'm going to also add objects, so that you can be, now to show you how to add objects and also the correlation. So kindly subscribe for more videos. So if you've not understood anything, you can just comment out, then I will make it a bit easier for you to understand. So that is it for today. Let us meet on my next video.